All right, testing, testing, testing. All right, looks like everything is up and running. So we're ready to get going with tonight's group break. Tonight, we actually will be doing two breaks. We will be doing. Sorry, I just messed something up. Okay, there we go. All right, JC can hear me. Super Gadget. Good evening to both of you. Yes, we'll be doing two breaks tonight, both in the same video. I'm not going to start and stop. That's just messy. No reason to do that. First up, we have the Patreon group break for September, and that will be a box of 2025 Panini Prism. This should have 3 autographs, as you can see from the box top there. We're going to start with that one tonight. For all the patrons. And then when we're done with that break, we will transition to our Breakers Club. And tonight we will be ripping 3 boxes, a box of 2025 Heritage, which should have a relic or autograph in it, a mega box of Panini Crusade, which should have an autograph in it, and then a box of 2002 Donruss Elite. I'm not sure exactly how many hits these have, but we've definitely opened some of these in the past, and occasionally you get a box. I'm pretty sure I opened a box, I think it was this year, that had like 5 relics in it, and then another one I think that had like 1. So I'm not quite sure what the seeding is, but those are the 3 that we'll be opening for Breakers Club tonight. So let me get these out of the way for now, because we're going to start with the Patreon break. And Patreon, because I haven't gone through the list here, let me quickly go through the list of who has what this time. I'm just going to go down alphabetical order by team. So Super Gadget Diamondbacks, Jackal Braves, Super Gadget Orioles and Red Sox, Paw Sports Cubs, Super Gadget White Sox. I have the Reds. Super Gadget has the Guardians. Adam has the Rockies. Michael C has the Tigers. JC has Astros Royals. Peach Pits Angels. Dr. Mustang has the Dodgers. Mike has the Marlins. Uncle Ben has the Brewers. Iowa State has the Twins. Mike has the Mets. Lost Collector has the Yankees. Super Gadget has the Athletics. Dan R has the Phillies. 412J Mac has the Pirates. Swinko has the Padres. Vosprink has the Giants. Ocelot has the Mariners. Cards on Cards has the Cardinals. Mike has the Rays. Tasty Brisket has the Rangers. Super Gadget has the Blue Jays. And Mike has the Nationals. So that is the September Patreon rundown. And now we are ready to get going. Good evening, Chris Swinko. He says here on time means I'll either get a mega hit or shut out completely. Well, let's hope for the mega hit, right? All right, so like I said, we're going to start with the Patreon, and then when we're done with this box, we'll do the 3 boxes for the Breakers Club. So we have a total of 4 boxes to rip tonight between the 2 breaks. Obviously, some people are in the Patreon and they're not in the Breakers Club, or vice versa. So these will be sorted separately, of course. All right. So good luck, everybody. This is 2025 Panini Prism. And that is what a box looks like this year when you open it up. So we'll take the packs out. They're pretty thick packs. There's the empty box. Nice squashed purple there. Just put the box over here for now, I guess, somewhere out of my way. All right. So each pack, 12 cards per pack. Got Skeens and Rowan Anthony as your cover boys. And then your general legalese, which there's probably no way you'll be able to read that on the camera. Well, actually, maybe you could read it if you really wanted to. All right. So good evening, Super Gadget, JC, Chris, and everyone else watching. And good luck to all of you. And our first card out of the box is going to the Giants. This is Bryce Eldridge for San Fran. We got Shoeless Joe for the White Sox. Paul Konerko as a Dodger. We got Tommy White for Oakland. Enrique Bradfield Jr., Orioles. Whoop, right off the bat, we get a nice autograph, sensational signature, Heston Kjerstad. Kjerstad? I don't even know how you say his last name, but a good player. So that one is going to Baltimore. Now I gotta pull my list back up. So I already forgot who has what. Super Gadget. Super Gadget's in the room. So the Chris Swinko theory of group breaks is in full play. Super Gadget here, Super Gadget hit. Just like that. Very nice. I'll sleeve that in just a moment. For Detroit, we have a very sparkly Hank Greenberg. It's like a disco ball or something almost. And then also for Detroit, getting more parallel love, we have a red Ty Cobb. I don't see that it's serially numbered anywhere. Don't see any serial numbering, but again, very nice and shiny. For Boston, Christian Campbell Talisman. And then for Oakland, we have Miles Naylor. For Stanford, we have Rentaro Sasaki. So that's a non-MLB. I don't have a non-MLB for the Patreon. I didn't make a non-MLB slot. So this will just get randomized amongst all Patreon participants other than me. So it will not go in my pile. And then for the Rockies, we've got Zach Veen. Never heard of Mr. Zach Veen, but I haven't heard of a lot of Rockies. I think we established that last group break. JC says that's a decent first hit. I agree. We get a name we've heard of. I'm happy. All right. Second pack. For the Padres, Boston Bateman. Mr. Boston plays for San Diego, apparently. For the Mets, Tom Seaver. Jacob Wilson, Oakland. Roy Campanella, Brooklyn Dodgers. Jackson Churio, Brewers. Carter Jensen, Royals. We've got a red Don Drysdale for LA. That one is numbered. 149 out of 299. You can see that right above the name there. Right there. JC says about to message about the non-MLB. Yeah, I didn't look at the checklist at all, if I'm being honest. So I didn't even realize there were non-MLB in here. So we'll just randomize them. It's all right. Give everyone a chance at something extra. For Baltimore, Griff O'Farrell, and this is one of those prism, basically refractors, but they have to call them prisms. Christian Campbell for Boston, a Dingers. That's kind of a neat design. We've got Bryce Matthews for Houston, Benito Santiago for the Giants. There's a blast from the past. And Leo DeRocher for Chicago. I like the mix of old and new. I think they picked plenty of old guys that, at least so far, maybe not ones that get as much hobby love these days. So I appreciate that. You know, when's the last time you pulled up Benito Santiago in a new pack? Kevin Alcantara, Chicago. Cooper Pratt, Milwaukee. Blake Mitchell, Kansas City. Brett Saberhagen, Kansas City. Jake Arrieta, Chicago. Behind him is Joe Torre for Atlanta. And we've got a green Don Drysdale. This one is numbered out of 75 for the Dodgers. I like those little circles in the background there. And we have a beautiful orange Miguel Cabrera, numbered 41 out of 49 for Detroit. So a couple of nice back-to-back inserts there. We've got Fireworks, Franklin Arias for Boston. And then rounding out the pack, Robin Ventura for the White Sox, Rhett Lauder for the Reds, and Colin Houck for the Mets. I always forget to look, JC, when there's, or almost always forget to look for the non-MLB thing. I'm used to it for like Allen and Ginter and Heritage, but the rest of the sets I tend to not even consider it as an option. So that's on me. All right, for LA, Alex Freeland, Emilian Petre for Tampa Bay, Max Muncy, Oakland, Adam Jones, Baltimore, Andrew Painter, Philadelphia, For the Yankees, Don Mattingly. For LA, we have Kendall George, sparkly. Oh, that one's numbered 317 out of 499. I'll go through later and sleeve all of the serially numbered stuff. Marcelo Mayer for Boston is a prism. We've got a prismatic Bryce Rayner for Detroit. It's kind of a neat card. And then Dylan Dreeling for Texas, Jace Jung, Detroit, and Nolan Ryan as a Met, New York. Never know when Nolan Ryan's going to set what team he's going to show up representing. Okay. Next up, Eddie Collins, Chicago. Minnesota gets Kyle DeBarge, Kevin McGonigal for Detroit. There's Slam and Sammy for the Cubbies. Ty Cobb for Detroit. Ching Sin Ko for LA. We've got a red Yohandy Morales, numbered 239 out of 299 for the Nationals. And then behind that was our second auto. Another sensational signature, Carter Johnson for Miami. Now, I don't know anything about him. Carter Johnson. Let's leave that in just a moment. We got Hae-Sing Kim for LA. Buster Posey for the Giants. Nick Kurtz, nice one for Oakland rookie. And David Shields for Kansas City. I know nothing about Carter Johnson. Anyone have any information about him? I admit to watching the Marlins very infrequently. I'll watch them when they play the Reds, and that's about it. All right, let me move this stack over here. We'll leave those up there. All right, next pack. Make sure everyone can see there. We've got Bryce Cunningham. Andrew, I'll answer your question in just a moment. Let me get through this pack. We got Owen Casey for Chicago, Leo DeVries for San Diego, New York, Monty Irvin. We got Shinosuke Ogasawara for Washington. There's a nice Cal Ripken for Baltimore. Kind of like the shot from behind there. We've got Mr. Ogasawara for Washington in purple. This is number 62 out of 149. And we have a nice Junior Caminero prism and a George Lombard Jr. for New York Fireworks. A-Rod as a Mariner. Roberto Clemente as a Pirate, obviously. And Vince Honeycutt for Baltimore. So Andrew Schaefer asks, what's the Patreon buy-in per team, or does it vary depending on the team? And do you end up selling all team slots each month? Yes, Swinko answered most from the $10 to $12 range. That is correct. Try to keep it as affordable as possible. They do vary by team, and the idea is theoretically it's pitched towards team collectors because Patreon works on like a monthly subscription basis. So you get, when you buy in your team slot, no one else can buy that team slot. And then you can keep that, month after month. And hopefully my goal, of course, is over time, it's a good deal for everybody. Obviously group breaks. Some months will be better for your team than others. That's kind of how it goes. And do I sell every team? No, there are still some teams that are unclaimed after most months. But there is a few teams that are unclaimed right now for the October group break, which I'm going to put this pack right there. I don't know if it lets me share a link in this or not. There you go. There's a link to the Patreon so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So if it says 0 out of 1, then that team is still available for our next group break. And the October box break is going to be all about Bowman Chrome. I've ordered 4 mega boxes of 2025 Bowman Chrome. So that's what we'll be breaking next month. And the way it goes is that's considered the October break, which will break in early November because I have to wait till Patreon processes everything. So hopefully that answers your question. And JC did a little research for me. Carter Johnson, Miami's current number 24 prospect. Okay, not terrible. Middle infielders in single A. So that has a chance to be good. Single A, you never know. But that's cool. We'll take that. All right, next pack. Tim Hudson, Oakland. Robin Yount, Milwaukee. Tris Speaker, Boston. Joe DiMaggio, New York. Tom Glavine, Braves. Brady Ebel, and now this has no team assigned to it. No team listed. So that probably will be randomized. I will check TCDB to see if they actually assign a team there. I usually use their checklist for double checking things. So, yeah. Next up, Tris Speaker. We've got a sparkly one. This numbered out of 499 for Boston. Nice one for Boston. And a beautiful Pittsburgh. Paul Skeens. Not numbered, but everyone likes a nice Paul Skeens card. We got Christian Moore for LA, Prismatic. Josue De Paula, LA. Deion Sanders as a Brave, and Seaver King for Washington. No, you didn't bog me down at all. I just wanted to make sure I answered correctly and could grab the link quickly. Andy, no problems whatsoever about that. Happy to answer, in fact. And JC asked Ginter for November. JC, do you know if Ginter's being released then? I haven't seen a release date yet. I would love to do Ginter as a break, but I haven't seen a release date yet. So if you've seen, let me know. Thomas White starts off our next pack for Miami. We got Jordan Lawler for the Diamondbacks, Prince Fielder, Milwaukee. There's a nice David Ortiz. I kind of like some of these back shots, especially with the stadium in the background there. That's pretty cool. I like that one. That's not Fenway. Is that Camden in the background? What field is that in the background? JC says Brady. Okay, Brady Ebel has no team, so that'll just be randomized. I don't know. I like that card though. Anyways, Cam Caminiti for Atlanta. We got Hank Greenberg for Detroit. We have a beautiful blue for LA. Kellen Lindsay, numbered 84 out of 199. But the dark blue looks so good on a Dodger card. Cliff Lee Prism. And behind him, how about another Paul Skeens, this time a talisman. Bob Gibson for the Cardinals. Hurston Waldrop for the Braves. And Alejandro Rosario for Texas. So lots of cool stuff here. All right, JC says the checklist was posted. Okay, so I missed that entirely. I'm so glad you said it. That I will look into because Ginter is my number one set pretty much each year. I hope it's a good checklist this year, though. It's been going downhill. We start with, speaking of a good checklist, Johnny Bench for my Reds. Nelson Cruz, Texas. Bronson Arroyo, unfortunately for me, as a Boston Red Sox. I always liked Arroyo when he was a Red. Yohandy Morales, Washington. Thomas Harrington for Pittsburgh. Al Kaline, Detroit. We got Billy Amick for the Twins, numbered 12 out of 99. Nice shiny twin. And then how about a red border for the Cardinals, Mr. Ozzie Smith. That's a sweet card for the Cards. When we have a Dingers, Tommy White for Oakland. And then our last three base are Austin Wells for New York, Jedickson Paez for Boston, and James Tibbs III for San Fran. JC says Ebel was recently drafted by Milwaukee, but after this set, guessing after the set was finalized. Yeah, if it doesn't say Milwaukee and if TCDB doesn't treat it as a Milwaukee card, I'll randomize it amongst all participants. I think that's the fairest thing to do since I didn't make a non-sport. Brock Porter, Texas. Josuar Gonzalez, San Fran. Jacob Mizorowski. Well, there's a nice one for the Brewers. We got Tommy Troy, Arizona. George Lombard Jr., New York. Harmon Killebrew, Minnesota. We have Tommy Troy Prism, numbered out of 499 for the Diamondbacks. Nice sparkly one there. We've got a just regular Prism Mac Harvoth for the Rays. And then a Fireworks Jack Leiter for Texas. And then Luke Kutchell for Minnesota, Luis Baez for Houston, and Roman Anthony for Boston. All right, we've got two packs remaining. We should still get one more autograph. We're supposed to get 3 in a box. And we start off with a Cardinals legend, Rogers Hornsby. Spencer Arrighetti, Houston. Carson Williams, Tampa. Brandon Sproat, New York. Kyle Teal, Chicago. Ryan Sandberg for the Cubs. There's Mr. Heston Jerstad, red, numbered out of 299. So we have got a Heston hotbox from Baltimore. And then there's our third auto, Mr. Ben Hess, who at least I've heard of. Ben Hess for New York. Autograph number 3. I'll sleeve that in a moment, but let's finish this off. Not to be outdone, a nice Dylan Cruz Prismatic. Jake Peavy rookie for San Diego. Braxton Ashcraft for Pittsburgh. And Jarangelo Sinji for Seattle. I'm sure I mispronounced that, but there's an awful lot of J's in that last name. All right. So at least we got our 3 autos. All sensational signatures. I'm not sure if a guy in single A counts as sensational signature currently, but maybe down the line. All right, here's your final pack for this box. Lazaro Montes, Seattle. Ryan Sloan, also Seattle. Larry Walker as a Cardinal. Chris Cortez, LA. Braden Montgomery, Chicago. Blake Burke, Milwaukee. We have a Ken Griffey Sr. Sparkly, numbered out of 499 for the Reds. Tony La Russa, manager for the Cardinals. Our talisman in this pack is Chase Dollander for the Rockies. Luis Angel Acuna for New York. Brooks Lee from Minnesota. And why not? Let's get one more Heston Jerstad for Baltimore. And that is 2025 Prism. I would say that's a good, I think that's a solid box. We got quite a bit of nice colored and serially numbered inserts, lots of sparkles, and our autographs probably about par for the course for what you would expect out of a box of this. But I'm happy with them, and you know, as a group break host, I'm happy to see they went to 3 different teams just to spread out the love a little bit. As JC said, we didn't pull any Panini points, which was good since I didn't have the non-slot. I mean, I could randomize it. Maybe not quite live with 30 teams. I don't have a 30-sided die, but I could certainly figure something out. But, yeah, we don't have to worry about that, so that's good. All right. Sorry, I'm a little OCD and get that stuff off my mat. That is the Patreon break. And as I said a few minutes ago, if you're interested or if you're stumbling across this, the Patreon break for October, which is taking signups now, will be 2025 Bowman Chrome, which I think, yes. I can proudly show off is in hand. So those just arrived the other day. So they have been ordered. And just so you know that I actually have 4 of them as promised, there are the 4 Bowman Chrome mega boxes, which we will be doing next. Well, it's for this month, but we'll break those in early November. All right. Now we shift gears to the Breakers Club, for which we will be busting 3 boxes tonight. We have 4 boxes. We have 4 boxes, 3 weeks. We have 3 boxes, 2 weeks, if that makes sense. So this is one of the weeks that I set aside to do 3 boxes, excuse me. And that's because I had the 4th box anyways for the Breakers, for the Patreon. Jeez. So anyways, long story short, there's only 1 week where you only get to see 3 boxes busted on video, and that will be probably next week, the way I have it set up. So because we have, I think, 18 total boxes, and I'm just split it across 5 weeks rather than 6. So anyways, no one probably cares about that other than me, because I like to map stuff out. So with that said, we're going to bust all 3 of these tonight. I guess it doesn't matter what order we go in, but I think I'm going to start with Heritage since we just did a Panini product, and then we'll circle back to the other 2 boxes. How's that sound? All right, JC says Ginter pre-sale is November 3rd. I'm going to have to look into, or maybe even set an alarm for that one. I hope it's affordable this year. Last year, the prices were through the roof for what you got. I always buy quite a bit of Ginter for myself. That's the one set I collect each year now, consistently. So anyways, JC says read off teams. So this is the Breakers Club. So I did read the teams off in the last video. I usually don't read them off twice, but I guess since I did do a second break in the same video, I probably should. So for Breakers Club, just to be clear, if we're starting here, Diamondbacks will be Triple L, Braves Jackal, Orioles and Red Sox go to Super Gadget. JC has the Cubs, Astros, Royals, Marlins, Mariners, and the non-MLB, which will definitely come into play, or almost definitely here. White Sox, Padres, and Giants are going to Swinko. I have the Reds. Adam K has the Rockies. Engel Woodstock has the Tigers. Peach Pitts has the Angels. Mike has the Guardians, Dodgers, Mets, Phillies, Rangers, Blue Jays, and Nationals. Uncle Ben has the Brewers. Iowa State has the Twins. Andy S has the Yankees. Don Dog has the Athletics. 412 J-Mac has the Pirates. Cards on Cards has the Cardinals. And Double Brook has the Rays. So there we go. Yes, I agree, JC. Definitely smart to do that. Names have been read. We're all set. In fact, let me get a drink and then we'll go. And I need to look up that Ginter checklist when we're done here. All right, so I'm going to pull the packs out as best I can. Bottom ones always want to stay there. All right, so there's your empty box. Get that out of here. Here are all the packs. Sometimes I need a bigger desk. Okay. So we begin Breakers Club night number 2. And once again, good luck to everybody. This is Heritage. So you kind of know what you're getting yourself into as far as Heritage goes. Lots of nice vintage inspired base cards. Plenty of short prints within the box as a whole. There are obviously going to be potentially some image variations. If they're obvious, I'll call them out, but I will make sure to show off every card because I'm not going to take the time and try to read these minuscule little numbers that are down here, which maybe you can make out with the camera. The dark black on the green doesn't show up very well. So yeah, that's what you got. Swinko says there is a way. I have no idea how to put a screenshot on your live stream. Can do that for the teams from Excel instead of having to read it. Yes, I do actually know how to do that. I'm just lazy and I don't do it. No, I'm just kidding. There is a way to do it. I just never thought to do it, if you want to know the truth. So not a bad idea. I guess I could probably mess with that to do. My problem is I use Restream, which is nice, but I use the free version because it's pretty expensive. And again, I don't really do the group breaks for a job or anything like that. So I think that it's more limited what I can do in terms of the sizing. I think the most I could do, it would take up almost a quarter of the screen, which I never love. But I guess I could figure out how to get it up and then pull it back off before we actually start. So yeah, good idea. I'll have to try to remember to do that next time. Noted. All right. So anyways, Ellie, how about that? Ellie De La Cruz for the Reds. David Festa, Twins. John Duran, also Twins. Curtis Mead, Rays. A nice Julio Rodriguez for the Mariners. We have a Topps all-time all-star Mickey Mantle. We got a blue parallel of Yasmani Grandal for the Pirates. And Will Warren for the Yanks. I do the split screen stuff when I do the team randomizations, when we do like a buy one, get one group break. So I do know how to do it. But on the fly, maybe I'm a little less confident that I won't screw something up. Jacob Wilson, Athletics. Chris Jones, Rockies. Michael Conforto, Dodgers. I got AL strikeout leaders. All of the triple cards will be randomized amongst the teams featured. So I'll take care of that later. Jake Berger, Rangers. Victor Robles, Mariners. Richard Fitz, Red Sox. And Mitch Haniger, Mariners. The exception, of course, being if we get and I don't even know if there are dual autographs or something like that in this set with different teams featured, but if we do get something like that, well, then, of course, I'll randomize it on video before assigning a team. Jose Iglesias, Mets. Javier Assad, Cubs. Connor Norby, Marlins. Ronaldo Lopez, Braves. Kerry Carpenter, Tigers. We have a Chrome, father and son. Dusty Baker and Darren Baker. So that's pretty cool. And that is, I would consider that a nice hit. So that one does need to be randomized. The Dodgers. Where's my handy list here? The Dodgers, Mike, and the Nationals. Oh, I don't have to randomize because Mike has the Dodgers and the Nationals. So how about that? That makes it easy for me. And then we've got a blue Sparkly Chrome, Aaron Nola of the Phillies. Those are also not numbered. And Anthony Rendon for the Angels. That pack did not want to open. Adolis Garcia for Texas. There's a Mike Trout sighting for the Angels. Ryan Bliss, Mariners. Tyler Phillips, Phillies. We have a beautiful blue Tyler Locklear Chrome, blue Chrome, 118 out of 150 for the Mariners. But that blue and yellow looks super sharp with the Mariners uniform there, with Locklear's uniform in particular. That's a nice looking card. I like that one. I usually pull serially numbered Chrome cards out of this set. We got Connor Norby for the Marlins. This is a 25th anniversary insert. That one's cool too. And a blue parallel, Cedric Mullins for the Orioles, and then Will Benson for the Reds. I'm actually going to sleeve Mr. Locklear while we have it right there. Very nice. Seattle. Where are you? JC, that's going to you, my friend. All right. Next pack. Spencer Steer for the Reds. All-time All-Star Roberto Clemente, Pittsburgh. Orlando Arcia, Braves. Kyber Ruiz, Nationals. Luis Guerrero, Red Sox. We have a refractor Nolan Jones for the Rockies. These used to be serially numbered, but I guess they don't do that anymore. But still a nice one for Colorado. Alek Manoah, Blue Jays, and Carlos Santana for the Guardians. Just ripped a sliver of that off, and that's all that wanted to come. Some of these packs are not cooperating tonight. All right. Willie Castro for the Twins. Jackson Jobe, Tigers. JT Realmuto, Phillies. Tyler Gentry, Royals. Ha-Seong Kim, Padres. We have an autograph. Just stuck right in there. Drew Thorpe of the White Sox. Going to the White Sox. Swinko. Nice Drew Thorpe auto. There you go. You know what? If you pull an autograph out of Heritage, you're doing well. I feel like we almost always get relics. So just the fact that we even got an auto, I consider that a win. But I think Thorpe's a pretty decent autograph to get. Rookie auto for the White Sox on Heritage, on card. That's pretty nice looking. I'll sleeve that in one moment. We got CJ Abrams, blue shiny for the Nationals, and Mason Montgomery for the Rays. Well, let's sleeve Mr. Drew Thorpe. There you go. I think I said this last break, but I need to get myself some more sleeves. Might be down to my last pack here shortly. Yeah, it's an on card. Swinko says he was a Padre for a week or so. All right, Jose Caballero for the Rays, Dalton Varsho, Blue Jays, Seth Brown, Athletics. We've got Kevin and Craig Biggio, Athletics and Royals, Sedan Rafaela, Red Sox, and a Chrome, Brian Bello for the Red Sox, and a blue, Richard Fitz for the Red Sox. So a nice Red Sox pack. And Eugenio Suarez for the Diamondbacks. I like the inclusion of Chrome in Heritage, but I don't know that we need so many different Chrome sets. Kyle Gibson, Cardinals, Mickey Moniak, Angels, Gustavo Campero, also Angels, Matt McLean, boy, he was bad for the Reds this year, Grant Holman, Athletics, Jaden Hill, Rockies, Vinny Pasquantino, Royals, and Jake Bloss for the Blue Jays. So I'm going to move some of these base cards out of the way so I don't spill the stack. I like the Heritage set. I used to collect Heritage. There was a string of years where I collected Heritage every year, and then I got frustrated by the just sheer number of short prints, and I promised myself no more Heritage collecting until I finished all the Heritage sets that I'm currently working on. And what I didn't realize was one of those short prints I needed is Gary Sheffield. And I didn't know this until honestly quite recently, but his I've got to just pull it out real fast here since it's on my mind. The 2009 Topps Heritage set, his card is 698. He actually, I think, has two cards in the set, but 698 is him. And for whatever reason, that card is like a super, super short print. So, but it's part of the base set, which is really annoying. So probably I will never own it, in which case I will probably never collect Heritage again. At least that's the promise I made to myself. I might break that by the time the early 90s stuff hits Heritage, but we'll see. All right, anyways, Noelvi Marte for the Reds, Ryan Lewis Twins, Josh Lowe Rays, Sean Manaea Mets. We have, I got confused here. We have a 1776 to 1976 in gold, but then the serial number on that is 152 out of 200. So this is Michael Kopech of the Dodgers. I guess the 200-year anniversary of our country parallel, something like that. Going to the Dodgers. It's going to Mike. So that's an interesting card. We've got another Chrome, Grant McCray for the Giants, and a shiny, Justin Henry Malloy for Detroit, and Gio Urshela for the Athletics. I'm not sure how I feel about two forms of gold numbering on the same card. A little weird, but we'll take it. Again, solid box show. We've already got two serially numbered cards plus an auto. You can't ask for much more than that out of Heritage, and we've only opened half the box, basically. Carlos Correa, Twins, Junior Caminero, Rays, William Contreras, Brewers, Luis Robert Jr., White Sox, Josh Jung, Rangers, Christian Mania, Diamondbacks. We got a blue Danny Jensen for the Red Sox, and Kiner Montero for Detroit. I agree, Chris. Chris says that's one of the weakest parallels they made, and we should at least put a Statue of Liberty foil or something. Very much in agreement on that one. Merrill Kelly, Diamondbacks, Rhys Hoskins, Brewers, Wilson Contreras, Cardinals, Joey Cantillo, Guardians, Luis Angel Acuna, Mets. We've got a refractor of Kyle Schwarber of the Phillies. A nice one for Philadelphia. Joe Adell, Angels, and Brandon Marsh for the Phillies. Yeah, say what you want about Panini. They do their parallels, at least in a way, generally speaking, that make them interesting with their emojis and other imagery that they use. You can usually at least tell what the parallels are supposed to be. Drew Romo, Rockies, JD Martinez, Mets, Corbin Burns, All-Star for the Orioles, Todd Bradley, Rays, Nico Cavadas, Angels. We have an upside down 25th anniversary Mason Wynn on like a foil board. So I believe that's a parallel of that set, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a nice one for the Cardinals, going to Cards on Cards. And we have a shiny blue Garrett Cole and a Dylan Cruz rookie. This is not serially numbered, but I think they're fairly rare, so I'm going to sleeve that anyway. So let's pop that sucker right in a sleeve if I can. There it goes. So there's that. All right. We're actually getting a really strong box here. A nice start to Breakers Club night number 2. We had a strong batch last week, so this is good. Wyatt Langford, Rookie Cup, Rangers. Garrett Crochet, Red Sox. Sandy Alcantara, Marlins. Hunter Green, Reds. Byron Buxton, Twins. We've got a chrome Richard Fetz for the Red Sox and a blue Jarren Duran for the Red Sox and Anthony Santander for the Orioles. Holographic foil board. And those are quite a bit rare, are they not, JC? Do you have the odds handy? Teoscar Hernandez, Dodgers. Reese Hines, Reds. Brenton Doyle, Rockies. Gleyber Torres, Tigers. Bobby Witt Jr., nice one for the Royals. Donovan Solano, Padres. Gabriel Moreno, Diamondbacks. And Andres Jimenez for the Blue Jays. Again, lots of short prints lurking in Heritage. I'm not turning most of the cards over. There's probably in a box at least one like image variation of some type. If it's upside down, we'll catch it, hopefully, but otherwise, you're on your own. I've shown every card. Jackson Chourio, Rookie Cup for the Brewers. Nice one for the Brew Crew. Brendan Donovan, Cardinals. George Springer, Blue Jays. Lourdes Guerrero Jr., Diamondbacks. We've got batting leaders, Witt for the Royals, Guerrero for the Blue Jays, and Judge for the Yankees. We have a Harriet Beecher Stowe, Notable Americans. So that's going to the non-MLB slot. We've got a Sparkly Gabriel Moreno for the Diamondbacks and Jeff McNeil for the Mets. I hate that Topps doesn't just put the insertion odds on their pack wrappers, or at least on the boxes anymore. Bryce Harper, Phillies. Jonathan Cannon, White Sox. Lane Thomas, Guardians. Francisco Lindor, Mets. Clayton Kershaw, Dodgers. Shoto Imanaga, Cubs. Josh Hader, Blue for the Astros. And Edwin Ucita for the Rays. Max Meyer, Marlins. Hunter Biggie, Rays. Yolber Diaz, Diamondbacks. Marco Luciano, Giants. We have an all-time all-star Ernie Banks for the Cubs. River Ryan, Chrome, Dodgers. Logan Gilbert, Mariners. Lawrence Butler, Athletics. And Ezekiel Tovar for Colorado. We're almost through this box. We found our one promised hit, but who knows what else we might find. Bryce Miller, Mariners. Zach Neto, Angels. Angel Martinez, or probably Angel Martinez, Guardians. Jairo Iriarte, White Sox. Valente Belazzo, Marlins. Maybe through the years, Joe Morgan, 1976. And my boy, Nacho Alvarez Jr. for the Braves. If I were to ever collect a guy just for his name, it would be Nacho Alvarez. In fact, I had nachos for dinner tonight. Took my son, we went out to eat, and I got nachos. Mitch Spence. That one's got a little ding on it here down the. Make sure everyone can see that. Just a little one, but I noticed it. Mitch Spence, Athletics. Nolan Jones, Rockies. Luis Castillo, Mariners. Yandy Diaz, Rays. Logan O'Hoppe, Angels. Jackson Chourio, Brewers. This being one of the not full parallel sets, if I'm not mistaken, but nice one for the Brew Crew. Miles Mikolas, Cardinals. We got Kevin Gossman, Sparkly Blue for the Blue Jays, and Justin Verlander for the Giants. There's also a way on the restream to post comments that you guys make, but that doesn't always work for me. Anthony Rizzo, Yankees. Orelvis Martinez, Blue Jays. I mean, post it on the feed itself. Raciel Iglesias, Braves. Colt Keith, Tigers. Jacob Hurtubise, Rays. We've got a president, Woodrow Wilson, notable American. Second one of those from that set. And Sean Reynolds, Padres. Jorge Soler, Angels. Riley Green, Tigers. Edmund Sosa, Phillies. Mitchell Parker, Nationals. Devin Williams, Yankees. Ryan Helsley, Cardinals. We got a blue Alek Manoah for the Blue Jays and a father-son Matt and Jackson Holiday, Rockies and Orioles, respectively. Three packs left, counting this one. Zach Wheeler, Phillies. Colton Cowser, Rookie Cup for the Orioles. Framber Valdez, Astros. Vlad Guerrero Jr., Blue Jays. Brian Ramos, White Sox. We've got a Chrome, Rays, Guardians, and Yankees. So that one I'm going to have to randomize in a moment. Michael Harris, Braves, and Kevin Alcantara, Cubs. I don't think I'm going to luck out that the same person as all three of those. Next pack. Luis Garcia Jr., Nationals. Cedric Mullen, Orioles. Mitch Keller, Pirates. We got a Jose Miranda for the Twins, record breaker. Yuri Perez, Marlins. Josh Rojas, Mariners. Logan Gilbert, Sparkly Blue for the Mariners. And Will Smith for the Dodgers. And we've got one last pack for this box. And we still have two more boxes to go tonight. And we begin with Josh Hader, Astros. Yasmani Grandal, Pirates. Vaughn Grissom, Red Sox. Michael Massey, Royals. Jordan Lawler, Diamondbacks. And behind him is a 1976 parallel, 67 out of 76, Blake Dunn of the Reds. I'm getting in on some parallel action. And then, not to be outdone, Hurston Waldrip, Sparkly Blue for the Braves. Justin Steele, Cubs. Cole Reagan's Blue. And ERA leaders for the National League, and Tyler Fitzgerald for San Fran. Let me quickly sleeve Mr. Blake Dunn. And now I need to randomize this one. Let's see. The Rays are somewhere on my list. So the Rays are Doublebrook. The Guardians are Mike, and the Yankees are Andy. So those are the three. So we have three different owners for the three different teams. So we're going to roll this green die. If we get a, so just 1 through 6. If we get a, let's keep it easy. If we get a 1 or 2, it'll go to the Rays. If we get a 3 or 4, it'll go to the Guardians. And if we get a 5 or 6, it will go to the Yankees. So I will just roll this, try to roll it right on the mat here. Some more dirt there. All right. So we'll roll this right here. Shake, shake, shake. There we go. It's a 1. 1 is up at the top. This will go into the Rays pile. And I will make a note of that right now, because I don't want to have to rewatch the video for who I said that went to. All right. So I put it on the sleeve, put the card in the sleeve. So we're good there. We can recap the hits quickly for this box anyways. We had a Tyler Locklear Blue Chrome. That's beautiful. That might be my favorite card of the box, honestly. Just the colors, the shiny. We had the Mason Wynn. We had the Blake Dunn out of 76. The Kopech out of 200. And then our auto was a very nice auto. Drew Thorpe for the White Sox. So all things considered, I'd say we knocked it out of the park. I'd give this one a very high grade. And who knows, maybe I'll even do a box review of it. I don't know. I did do a box review of one of them from last week on the blog. Might as well double dip with content. Okay. Heritage done. Let's do this one next, shall we? We've got 48 cards in the box, 6 cards per pack, 8 packs, and we should get an autograph. So this is one of the mega boxes, which seems to be like I don't know. Card companies are doing this more and more. They're almost like half hobby boxes, both in terms of the number of cards and packs, but also in terms of the number of hits. I'm not sure that I like that trend, but we're at the whim of what the card companies do. All right, so make sure you can see that. There's our box. So pull all those out, pull the straggler out. There's your empty box. I can get that out of here. And here are all of our packs. All right, so let's just jump right in, shall we? Box number 2. Good luck, everybody, tonight. We've got a completely different look from Heritage. So we begin with, oh boy, these are hard to read. I can tell you now, as someone that has to read these quickly, Joe Dix, Arizona. And they put like the photo is up over the nameplate. So it just looks like Jix, Arizona. I like the Crusade gimmick. I don't like that I can't read the player name. We have, I'm just going to be flipping all these over, I'm afraid. Heinsiok Jang for LA. And then for Texas, numbered out of 299, Kumar Rocker. That was nice. Kind of Rangers colors too. We have a pretty cool certified prospect, Vance Honeycutt for Baltimore. I kind of like the prism effect and all the stars on that one. I've never heard of Mr. Vance Honeycutt, but I like the card. We have Paul Molitor for Toronto. And we have Blake Mitchell for Kansas City. You can see again the image up over a good part of his, good chunk of the nameplate. I will sleeve Mr. Kumar Rocker. All right. So interesting cards. A bit of a culture shock after ripping a full box of Heritage. We have for the Brewers, Cooper Pratt. Cooper Pratt from Milwaukee. For Boston, Pedro Martinez. We've got for the Twins, Luke Keiskal. Keiskal? This appears to be some sort of parallel, by the way. And then Jordan Lawler, Panini Crusade for Arizona. And behind that, Tink Hence for St. Louis. Also not numbered, but sort of a cracked ice version of this design. Those are different. If I hold them in the light, you can see the different effects there. And Theo Gillen for Tampa Bay. So about half the guys in the pack I've heard of, and about half the guys in the pack I have not heard of so far, I would say. Here's a guy I've heard of, Jim Cott, Minnesota. We got Nelson Cruz, Texas. Bobby Witt Jr., Call to Arms. Another nice looking card there. For Oakland, Jacob Wilson. And for Chicago, we have Kyle Teal. Again, a different finish to that. And for the Reds, Rhett Lauder. I do like that they use team colors in the background, more or less. All right, JC coming in hot with some facts from the grayish ones are the silver primary base parallel. Okay. And they appear to be about one per pack. For Colorado, we have, boy, I can't read it. Chris Dollander. Maybe it's my old eyes, or maybe that's just really hard to read. We've got for Tampa Bay, Trey Morgan. And this one is numbered. No, it's not. I lied. Drew Gilbert for Houston. So that's the silver base parallel. And then Roman Anthony. Nice certified prospect for Boston. And Starlin Kaba for Miami. I like those. They're cool. Different. And for Pittsburgh, we got Nick York. Pirates get the yellow background treatment. So these are different. I don't know if I need an entire hobby box of this set, but I like a taste of it. Thomas Segezi for St. Louis. We got Trey Yesavage for the Blue Jays. We got a nice Dylan Cruz rookie certified prospect. For the Rays, Carson Williams, sparkly. Zebby Matthews for Minnesota. And for the White Sox, Edgar Quero. If you know all these guys, you are way ahead of me. Chase, not Chris. I probably said that completely wrong. He was in the rotation most of the year, 2-12. Well, you know, it was a rough year for the Rockies, unfortunately. But I appreciate the update there. Bryce McCage. I don't know. I'm probably butchering half of these, honestly. Brewers. Here we go. Here's one I won't butcher. Cal Ripken. Nice one for the Orioles. We have Seaver King, prospect for Washington. Pedro Martinez for Boston. We got a shiny Cam Smith for Houston. And Jarangelo Sagenci. I don't know. For Seattle. Well, 2 packs left. We're still looking for the auto. For LA, we have Chris Cortez. For nobody, Ethan Holiday. That one has no team attached, so that will be going to the non-MLB slot. So JC, that one's going to you in this break. We have Josuar Gonzalez for the Giants, parallel. We have a nice call to arms, Jim Edmonds of the California Angels. That's a name you don't hear much anymore. And Sammy Sosa for the Cubs. And finally, Bryce Rayner for Detroit, which means we should have an autograph in this last pack. JC waiting for the Hingleberry and Dismal Funyuns. Yes, and all of the other. Such a everlasting sketch. Trevor Hoffman, San Diego. We got Braylon Daughtry, Cleveland. And our auto, I'm assuming this is our auto, it's a redemption. Majestic Marks Chase Hampton. So I don't know who that is. I will look that up in a second. We got Certified Stars Jace Jung for Detroit. We have Seaver King for Washington. And our last base is Matt Shaw for the Cubs. Let me quickly look up who Mr. Chase Hampton is. So Chase Hampton appears to be a Yankee. And what is a Majestic Marks? So this is number 17. I'm trying to look up the checklist just real fast here. Yes, so that is Chase Hampton of the Yankees. So part of the Panini Boys of Summer Majestic Marks. I was trying to see if there was an image of what they look like on eBay, or on Google quick, but I didn't actually see one. I was just curious what the design was. All right. So, I don't know. I think it's always a little deflating to get a redemption card, but it's all right. So this is going to the Yankees. Yankees in this break are Andy. So, Andy, that is going to you, my friend. So you'll have to redeem that and then post it in the Discord because I want to see it when it comes. It might be 4 years from now, depending on how quickly Panini is with their redemptions. I know that Topps is really slow. So that's your box of Crusade / Boys of Summer. It's very confusing. Very confusing. I'm not seeing a link, JC. Did my link show up when I posted? Let me see if I can. It doesn't let me like add that. I can see you're trying to put a link there, but it doesn't let me like allow it. My options are to put you in timeout or hide you or remove or report. There's nothing like, yes, this is a helpful thing. Thank you for helping us out. Sometimes YouTube is dumb. So yeah, it doesn't seem to want to let that link go through. And I don't see any way that I can make it go through. So maybe we can post it on the Discord. I think, well, for Breakers Club, everyone is on the Discord. So though we can see it there. Maybe put it in the, just throw it in the Breakers Club 2 Discord channel. That'll work. Okay. We've got one last box to open tonight. We have lots more to go for Breakers Club. Like I said, we still have 11 more boxes after tonight. Of course, one of them is that little tiny figure box. So, 10 plus that one. But we're counting it as a box. We better count as a box because I paid $50 for it like an idiot. Thinking it was a bigger figure when I saw it listed. But there are some figures that go for big money, so maybe we'll get lucky. Okay. Anyways, we'll deal with that another day. So this is the 2002 Donruss Elite hobby exclusive. You get a little checklist thing, which I like that they did that. And then for some reason, all the packs are upside down, but lots of packs. So let's just pull. Well, they're not all upside down. Some of them are upside down. Some of them are backwards. I don't know what happened here. The box is too tight for them to have shifted around like in transit or something. So there's your empty box. And I have no idea what to expect out of this in terms of the number of hits. I feel like we've opened one of these before where we got a bunch, but I could be wrong. So, we'll all be surprised together. All right, so this should have 5 cards per pack. Look for throwback threads, single and double swatch jersey cards, pairing material worn in MLB games by retired legends and current stars, some autographed. So there you go. That's the most that I can tell you for this. And we will begin with Bernie Williams for the Yankees. And behind him, a little bit of sticking there, is Dean Palmer for Detroit. And then we're going to get a bunch of these probably. And then we've got Omar Vizquel for Cleveland. And then we have a crimped Shannon Stewart. You can see the pack roller went through Mr. Shannon Stewart. Some people collect those, so I don't know. Make of that what you will. And Jeff Bagwell for Houston. So that's what the set looks like. It's a nice enough set. Names are definitely easier to read than the last box, even though it's still shiny. All right, we got Luis Gonzalez for the Diamondbacks. Of course, I like anything that shows the team easy to spot on the front of a card. Ellis Burks, Cleveland, especially for group breaks. Jeff Conine, Baltimore. Fred McGriff as a Cub. I do not remember him even playing for the Cubs. I don't remember that at all. Should remember that for the Immaculate Grid. And Corey Koski, Twins. Am I the only one that forgot he played for the Cubs? We got Luis Gonzalez again for the Diamondbacks. Oh, there might have been a card underneath him. There is. Brad Radke for the Twins was hiding. Another one of those. Paul LaDuca, Dodgers. Tom Glavine, Braves. John Olerud, Mariners. And Fred McGriff again. So collation, not a strong suit so far. Next pack. Andrew Jones, Braves. Behind him, Brad Smith, Cardinals. And then we've got Rafael Palmeiro for the Rangers. Scott Rowland, Phillies. And Jeff Bagwell, Houston. Andy Schaefer knew because he was a Cubs fan. How long was he a Cub? Was it just the 1 year? Nomar Garciaparra, Red Sox. Mike Piazza, Mets. Maglio Ordonez, White Sox. Sammy Sosa, Cubs. And behind Sammy is A-Rod for the Rangers. Next pack. Bernie Williams, Yankees. So I do like these that they're color-coded by team. Dean Palmer, Tigers. So if you'll notice, like the Tigers had the blue, right? Blue border there, blue corners. And then a team like the Indians, Omar Vizquel in this case, gets the red. So I like that they at least gave a little bit of sort of team coloring. Ben Grieve for the Rays. And then a Bartolo Colon with a bit of a ding corner there down at the bottom. Maybe you can see it. There, you can kind of see it's got a little curvature to it. It's not terrible, but it's certainly not pristine. We've had a kind of a rough run here with the crimped card, and now that one with a busted corner. This pack doesn't want to open. There we go. All right, we got Pedro Martinez, Red Sox. There's a nice Ichiro for the Mariners. Paul LaDuca, Dodgers. Roy Oswalt, Astros. And Phil Nevin, Padres. So if you gotta like base cards, apparently, for this set so far. Miguel Tejada, A's. And escaping from him is Ellis Burks for the Indians. Omar Vizquel, Cleveland. Sammy Sosa, Cubs, and Alfonso Soriano for the Yankees. I was expecting a little bit more in the way of fireworks from this set, but we'll see. Mariano Rivera, Yankees. Paul Konerko, White Sox. Rafael Palmeiro, Rangers. There's a nice Barry Bonds for the Giants, and the big sexy Bartolo Colon for Cleveland. Next pack. We have Mike Cameron, Seattle. Mark Burley, White Sox. With a Back to the Future, Orlando Cabrera, Expos. That is numbered 963 out of 1,000. Going to the Expo / National slot. I'll be going to Mike. I will sleeve that one momentarily. We got John Lieber of the Cubs and Brett Boone for Seattle. All right, so we pulled a insert so far. I don't mind the inserts are rare. They should feel more special. Don't need one in every pack. Another Rivera for the Yanks. Roger Clemens, Yankees. We got Ken Griffey Jr. for the Reds. Carlos Feebles, Royals. And Jimmy Rollins, Phillies. Not a lot to say about these cards so far. Cliff Floyd, Marlins. I'm also wondering if my recollection was completely wrong. Manny Ramirez, Red Sox. Maybe I had a different year or something. Magler Ordonez, White Sox. For the Royals, Carlos Feebles. And for the Cardinals, Matt Morris. There's another Noma for the Red Sox. Frank Catalanato, Texas. Jermaine Dye, A's. Rob Nen, Giants. And Mike Sweeney, Royals. Next pack. Cliff Floyd, Marlins. Brad Smith, Cardinals. Richie Sexson, Brewers. Tim Hudson, A's. Greg Maddux, Braves. And Freddie Garcia, Mariners. Next pack. Fernando Vina, Cardinals. Chipper Jones, Braves. For the Pirates, Aramis Ramirez. Fred McGriff, Cubs, who Andrew Schaefer just said he spent half of 01 and all of 2002 with the Cubs, and then he went to the Dodgers after that. And I also don't remember that. And Bobby Abreu, Phillies. Adam Canninger says he likes the let's remember some guys nature of these breaks. Absolutely, right? There are some names here that we have not heard in quite a long time. All right. Miguel Tejada, A's. Ellis Burks, Indians. And then we have some sort of parallel here. Brad Fulmer. I don't know what they call it in this, but it's got a rainbow effect to it. No numbering, which was a surprise for Donruss, but very clearly a parallel. That's going to the Angels, which is on the list somewhere. Peach Pits. Yes, there we go. Mike Sweeney, Royals. Todd Helton, Rockies. And John Olerud, Mariners. Well, we're down to the final 4 packs, so I don't know. Unless there's something amazing that we just haven't opened yet. I'm not convinced that this box was worth anywhere near what I paid for it. But we'll wait till we're done. Miguel Tejada, A's. Mark Burley, White Sox. I'm getting a lot of packing material cards. Richie Sexson, Brewers. Albert Pujols, Cardinals. And Brett Boone, Mariners. All right, we've got 3 packs left. Yeah, the duplication is terrible. I am getting more frustrated as we go. Kurt Schilling, Diamondbacks. Richard Hidalgo, Astros. We have a rookie for the Blue Jays, Josh Phelps, numbered 1186 out of 1500. Nice Josh Phelps rookie for Toronto. That's going to Mike. So I'll sleeve that in a moment. There's a Pudge Rodriguez for the Rangers. And Mark Burley. Nope, just kidding. Mark Mulder for the A's. Let me sleeve that one. And even though it's not numbered, I'll sleeve Mr. Fulmer since this is some sort of parallel. According to TCDB, all the parallels are serially numbered. Am I blind? I mean, I often am blind, but There's no serial numbering on that, but it's clearly a parallel. You can see the difference in the light. There's no, I mean, it's just numbered as part of the base set. 137 in this case, but that's not how the rest of the base cards look. So I don't know. Don't know. All right. Second to last pack. Penultimate pack, as some would say. Bernie Williams, Yankees. Ellis Burks, Indians. Albert Pujols, Cardinals. Phil Nevin, Padres. And A-Rod, Rangers. All right, last pack. We have Ray Durham, White Sox. Javi Lopez, Braves. Yeah, another one of those. Derek Lee, Marlins. Brian Giles, Pirates. Freddie Garcia, Mariners. And Mark Quinn for the Royals. And that does it. That's the whole box. So those are kind of the only differences. I don't know if I have what I paid for that box handy anymore. But just because I'm frustrated. Yep, that was $190, that box. That's what I paid after like shipping and stuff. So don't get this again. I might need to remember that. No bueno. Certainly not. I mean, very limited here. This, whatever, fine. The duplication, terrible. The condition, a crimp card. We had a busted up corner on one. It seems like we got the same 6 players over and over. Not good. Swinko says this might be a sample. Could be. I don't know why you're putting a sample inside a pack, but I don't know. Could be. They don't promise anything, as far as I can tell. Autograph, blah, 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 blah. Inserts are included approximately 1 in 7 packs. So we had 20 packs in the box, and we got, if we're counting this as an insert, we got 3 inserts. So I mean, we were right on, so to speak, in terms of if they're just lumping everything as an insert, if we're counting that one. But yeah, I can't say that was a good box. Kind of a bummer. I was saving it to last because I thought this one might end up, giving us something cool from an older retired player. But at least the Heritage box, I think, was a lot better than expected. So that's all right. You win some, you lose some. We've definitely won more than we've lost thus far in Breakers Club for this current edition. So anyways, I can recap quickly. It won't take long. We had the Phelps out of 1,500. We had the Orlando Cabrera out of 1,000. And then we had whatever the heck this parallel is. Something shiny. We don't know what it is. It's a mystery. This whole box was sort of a mystery. It's number 137 in the set. I wonder if it's on Baseball Cardpedia. I can try to look real fast before I sign out here. Beckett samples should say the word sample on them somewhere. Oh, this is a short print veteran and printed on rainbow foil. That's what this is. So this is card 137, Brad Fulmer. Yep. So this is a short print veteran. Oh, Chris Swinkle beat me to it. Short print veteran. We've got it solved. Short print veterans. Okay. Well, I don't know if you guys can still hear me because my Chrome just froze where I was running the break. So if you can hear me, I'm going to sign off now. I'll go over on the Discord and comment. Oh, maybe we're back. Okay, we're back. Never mind. I don't know what just happened there. Yeah, so the short print veterans. There were parallels, but they're all serially numbered, as someone stated already. They're very low. I was trying to see, like, Back to the Futures. Back to the Futures. Okay. I mean, the hits and autograph checklist is pretty decent here, but we just didn't get any. Hobby odds are just listed as question marks. So, yeah. Okay. People can still hear me. Anyways, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. It makes it so much more fun for me when you're here and chatting and stuff. I very much appreciate that. And I think with that, I'll call it a night. Have a good evening, everybody. And I've got some cards to sort. I'll see you next week. Have a good evening and goodbye.